Salakia, this is part 2, the video cut off. But before I get this lesson started, I want to give all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahawashi, by Hashem Rakakadash, and double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone of whom I learned from. Going back into this lesson, Yahawashi and the letter J. The letter J not being, let's do a really quick recap. The letter J, Yahawashi is the name of the one the world ignorantly calls Jesus. Okay? Because the letter J did not exist how old is the letter J? When the Bible was written. How old? And we got to prove this. How old is the letter J? So here's the question. I understand that the letter J is relatively new, perhaps 400 to 500 years old. Here's the question. Answer and explanation. Until the year 1524, there was no letter J in the alphabet. The letter J was originally the same letter as the letter I. And when you look into the more old English letters of the translations of the Bible in English, you will see the letter Jesus instead of Jesus for the name of Yahawashi. So Yahawashi's name was never Jesus. And so you Christians, you got to get over that name, man. We're not denying the Son of God. We are denying the covering cast that's been placed over him. Even the race. He's not a white man. He's not a Middle Eastern man either. He is a so-called Negro. He's a so-called black man from the tribe of Judah. Here is the proof. You have precepts that tell you what Yahweh looks like, what Yahawashi looks like. Oops. Okay, so you got Revelation 4:3. And he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine stone. And there was a rainbow round about the throne, in the sight like unto an emerald. Okay? A jasper and a sardine stone, this is how they look. There goes your witnesses. When you compare a jasper and a sardine stone, a sardius stone, to so-called Negroes, you get a match. This proves we're not black. This crap that us being called black when we're not black, and the same thing with white people being called white. They're not white. White people are pink and red. White people are red. Human skin, when there is no melanin in the skin because of the blood flow and the capillaries and the very tiny, tiny microscopic veins, because human skin is translucent no matter what skin. I got a mark on my face that just developed during COVID. I am a half black, half Mexican male. I get extremely dark, even darker than I do in the wintertime, in the summertime. My melanin flows. This little mark on my cheek is pink because all of a sudden the melanin just disappeared one year and it never came back due to old age, vitiligo, whatever that stuff's called. But I have a little pink spot on the right side of my face that is relatively 3 years old. It's pink. Why is it pink? Because the melanin has been removed, and so now you can see the blood flow in my cheeks. This also dispels the fact that they said black people, so-called black people, can't blush. You just can't see the blush because of the melanin. You're supposed to have melanin in your face. Revelations chapter 4, verses 3 tells you that the Most High, the Father God, Yahweh, the Most High, sitting on the throne, matches these two stones. So all these pictures of an old white man with a long white beard sitting on the throne, and all these pictures of white angels and a white Jesus were wickedly done on purpose since the Renaissance period. And this has to be addressed because Yahawashi is not coming back as a fucking white man. He's coming back as a so-called black man, according to what the scriptures say. You guys say color doesn't matter. It does matter. And you guys are the race. Then the Edomites, the white people, are the ones who made color matter. Their entire system is based on it. They have based their righteousness on their so-called whiteness, and they have based our wickedness on our so-called blackness. And they have written laws around it. This is why your application asks you what color you are. This is why when they're saying they're looking for somebody over the police radio, they got to describe what color the person is, because their whole system is based on that bullshit. Yet when you start pulling out the scriptures, they want to accuse you of being racist. It's like, no, we're showing you where you guys have lied. So this is my point. The precepts show the color of the Most High, the precepts also show the fact that Yahawashi went up in a cloud, and he's coming back in a cloud, and clouds are code or lyrical poetic expression for chariots, also known as UAPs and UFOs. Let me pull up the precepts. Okay. Let me see. See, like, this is an old picture of me. There's no mark. This is before this was in my first, I think I was awake for a year. I still hadn't even had a beard yet. I didn't even grow my beard yet. But you can see how much my face on the right side, there's color there. I don't have that now. I got this white spot on my cheek now. Anyways, that whatever. So let me see. So in Acts you got this. So Acts chapter 1:9 again. And when he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of the sight. When you're operating in the congregation of the dead and you have no understanding, you think a puffy cloud of smoke, a rain cloud. You think that this is what this is talking about. No, this is talking about a UFO. This is talking about a chariot. This is talking about a so-called helicopter from heaven, or a jet, the version of jets or helicopters, or a plane from heaven, which is an interdimensional aircraft known as a UAP or a UFO. Why is it so hard for people to understand that heaven, that the Most High and His Son, that the angels have vehicles to travel in? Why is that so weird in your minds? You got a whole fucking planet of people with Jeeps and SUVs and vans and Lear jets and airplanes and hot air balloons and ships and submarines and bicycles, but the beings, the supernatural beings in heaven, don't have something to travel in? Well, and this is the only excuse I hear people say. Well, they don't need it. What do you mean they don't need it? What if they want it? Who are you to how is dirt, or was it ashes and dirt, or earth and ashes proud? Who the fuck are you to speak against how the Most High moves, man? It's mind-blowing to me. In my 15, 20 years of life, I know that the Most High, He doesn't need a car to drive in. According to what? What is your standard? Acts 1:10. And they that looked steadfastly towards heaven as He went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel, right? We're just doing a real quick recap. Verse 11, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up in heaven? This same Yahawashi, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall come in like manner. How is He coming back in the like manner? Revelations 1:7. Behold, He cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see Him, and they also which pierced Him. Okay? And they will wail because of Him. Isaiah 63, a violent, this is look, who is this that cometh? This is Isaiah 63, 1-4. Who is this that cometh from Edom, and dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in His apparel, traveling in the greatness of His strength. What's the greatness? How is He traveling in the greatness of His strength? You said He doesn't need a chariot? Well, He's going to fly in His body? I'm not saying He can't do that, but this is saying traveling in the greatness of His strength. Okay, it's talking about His chariot. He's on a chariot. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thy apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the winefat? He's got blood sprinkled all over his clothes. I have trodden the winepress alone. And why? Because through those chariots, He's going to destroy the armies of Esau, Edom. And that goes into Revelations 12, the battle of Armageddon, where the Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and his angels fought. That's talking about the future war between UFOs that are holy angels, that are being flown by holy angels from heaven, Yahweh of hosts, at the direction of Yahawashi, with Yahawashi there too on a chariot so big the size of a mountain, destroying all of the white boys and their goddamn fucking jets and their fucking their rockets and their fucking all that shit, their helicopters, and what are those called, man? The manually operated ones, the drones. That's what this is going into, man. There is going to be a physical clash between heaven and earth, and it's going to be Yahawashi on a UFO the size of a mountain against Esau and all his weapons. Let's get 2 Ezra 13. Look at this. This is why they took the Apocrypha out of the Bible. Here, no, I won't pull it up. I'll pull it up here. This is why they took the Apocrypha out of the original King James Bible. Ecclesiasticus. I'm staying in Ecclesiasticus right now. I'm learning a lot. 2nd Ezra 13, right? This is one reason. The whole chapter explains who the eagle is. Identifying the eagle with the Roman Empire. America is the revised Roman Empire, and the eagle is the national bird of America. It's on the quarter. It's on the back of the dollar bill. Okay? But here, look. So I know, I think the eagle is spoken about, and I saw a dream, and behold, there came from the sea an eagle. Yes, so verse 11 goes into the multi-headed, multi-winged eagle, right? Talking about the fucking Roman Empire. Okay? Look at this. Look at verse 14 or 44. The highest also hath looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended. This is talking about the end of Esau's kingdom. Now, this is talking about the fall of Rome, but now Rome has been resurrected, and it's in its final leg, and then it's going to fall again when America is completely judged. The highest also hath looked upon, this is 2nd Ezra 11. You see the scriptures. It's not the Bible. Yes, it is, you asshole. The highest also hath looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended. It's time. You're done. Daniel chapter 2, Daniel chapter 4, Daniel chapter 7. He is the one that raises up and brings down kings and kingdoms, and his abominations are fulfilled. And therefore appear no more, thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body, verse 46, that all the earth may be refreshed. The earth will not be refreshed until the white man, Esau Edom, is destroyed and removed from global power in the earth. That's what it says, man, and may return, being delivered from thy violence. So the so-called black man is not the most violent person on the earth that the so-called white man is, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her. Let's pull up the eagle. The eagle as a symbol for nations. Let's see it. Let me see images. What do you guys see? What do you guys see? What do you fucking see? I know you see that the Issacharite flag, but that's not what it's talking about. See it? Boom. Let me see. Yeah. Boom. Look. That's what it's talking about, man. It's on the back of the quarter. Eagle. Eagle on the back of the quarter of on the back of the quarter, QUA quarter. Bam. See? It's also on the dollar. It's their symbol. It's talking about them, you guys. It goes into, there's even Roman, I think there's even, let me see, the eagle on Roman coins, Roman coins. Let's see. There it is. Look how old that fucker is. That's an ancient Roman eagle. So it's talking about them. This is how you identify things. You have to know how to read the scriptures, man. All right? So we're pointing this out, but let's go to 2nd Ezra 13. They took this out of the Bible for a reason. And in 2nd Ezra 13, look at this. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea that it moved all the waves thereof. It's talking about the firmament in the sky. And a whirlwind is beginning to form because this ship is coming through one dimension into another. A portal is being opened. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. Who's the thousands of heaven? It lines up with scripture here. Behold, he cometh with the clouds, multiple chariots, multiple UFOs, multiple angels. Okay, it also lines up with Jude, 10,000 of the saints, right? So look, it's the same verbiage, you guys. This is totally the scriptures. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heavens, verse 3. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. Verse 4, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. And after this I behold, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men. This is the battle of Armageddon, out of number from the four winds of the earth, all four corners of the earth, to subdue the man that came out of the sea. The sea is talking about the sky, the firmament. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, and flew upon it. How do you fly upon a mountain? This is how big this chariot is. If you stand on the ground, I think I looked it up. If you stand on the ground and you look towards the horizon, in any direction you are looking at, if you're in a place where there's no trees, I think if you go online, it'll tell you that you're looking at a 3 to 5 mile distance in a radius from where your feet are standing to how far your eyes can see where the actual sky touches the ground. Like what your eyes is actually seeing is only about a 5 to 3 mile radius. That's how far out you're looking. So that's what what Ezra saw in his dream above him was a chariot that was at least that big in circumference. And we already know they get bigger than the planet. Okay? But this gives you an idea of a measurement. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, and flew upon it. Verse 7, but I would have seen the region or place without the hill was graven. And notice he's using mountain and hill to describe the chariot. What is also that symbolic of? Mountains and hills are governments and rulerships. And hills are cities, right? And within those mountains and rulerships, what do you have? You have laws, you have officers, and you have a military base, right? And on those and within those governments and hills, their military or their officers have stamps of authenticity, right? Of either rank, the city, or the state, or the nation on their vehicles, right? So this chariot that Yahawashi is on is stamped with Zion. It's Zion. It's Mount Zion. It's an official mobile. It's an official warcraft representing the kingdom, the rulership of Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi, Mount Zion. That's what the Spirit is showing me. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, yet they durst fight. This is talking about this is talking about the battle of Armageddon. Verse 9, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth a commandment. Look, as it had been a blast of fire, out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And in verse 11, and they were all mixed together, the blast of the fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. When I first read this, it scared the fucking shit out of me. And the first precept I thought of was Revelations, when the sword comes out of his mouth. Let me see if I got to put it. He's got a double-edged sword in his mouth. Look at this. With the two-edged sword, two-edged sword in his mouth. When I read Esdras, there it is, Revelations 19:15. Yep. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and the wrath of Almighty God. This is this is 2 Ezra 13, and this is Isaiah 63, 1-4, in one precept right here, bro. And they say that the Apocrypha is not the Bible. And you see the connection. You see it. You see it, you see it, you see it. You see the description of the violence of the sword coming out of Yahawashi's mouth in 2 Ezra 13. This is why Amalek has been able to come up with all these fucking UFO movies this whole time, telling you that only aliens or demons or scary creatures, like in this movie, which really do symbolize Yahawashi, That just symbolizes Yahawashi. Look.
I don't care.
So what happened in Mexico City?
When you, Mr. Messenger of Earth.
Everything we just read, all the violence, all the power, all the domination and the sovereignty, this is how Yahawashi is coming back. He's not coming back as a fucking white man. He is a so-called black man coming back on a UFO, which is a chariot, an interdimensional warcraft machine to destroy Esau Edom, who needs to be destroyed. Because if you do not destroy him, he's going to destroy the whole planet and everybody on it.
I warn you, Mr. Messenger of Earth. An alliance is a contract. And contracts, like humans, expire.
On this planet we have a saying. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
I also have a saying. I don't care.
And that's it. We don't give a fuck what you have to say, Esau. We don't care. We don't care if you're saying Jesus is his name and he's a white person and color doesn't matter. Yes, color does matter because you're the race that changed his color from black to white. You changed his color, you changed his name from Yahawashi to Jesus, and you made the whole Bible about white people. Yet nobody white displays the love they say white Jesus has for anyone. You guys are counterfeits. Everything about you is a fucking lie. And now what's happening to America, right? What are they saying? Oh, we're the victim. No, dude, since America has been in power, you've been tormenting everybody on the earth, claiming you're the victim. It's ridiculous. So this lesson is going into, I'm going to stop. I'm going to make it short though. So you see what the precepts are saying. You see right here, Isaiah 63, 1-4 matches what it's saying in freaking in 2nd Ezra 13, and it matches what it says in Revelations 19, right? You see it, man. You see it. They connect. They say the same things. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword. Right here. But only I saw so, and lo, and after this, behold, verse 8, all they that were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet there's fight. Verse 9, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. Verse 10, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest. Verse 11, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude, which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that none upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. He literally vaporizes the entire army of Armageddon with what comes out of his mouth, which is the concentrated fire laser beams coming out of the so-called UFOs. That the white man says he doesn't know what they are. But they're flying all over in the skies. And no white Christian will admit, those are demons. They're not demons. That's the military force of heaven. This is the pride of Esau, you guys. No other creature can have a bigger gun than them. And if they do have a bigger gun than them, it's a threat. Of course it's a threat. Because what? Only the white man can be in rulership. Only he can kill people. Only he can drop atomic bombs. Everybody else is supposed to not have a gun, and everybody else is not supposed to have authority. You see how this works, bro? They got everything they got that they put in the movies out of the Apocrypha, and then now they're lying about it. They're lying about the nationality of Yahawashi. They're lying about the nationality of the true Hebrew Israelites, and they're lying about the truth of the chariots, which they say are UFOs, unidentified flying objects, when the Bible identifies them. And this same race who claims God is white, they can't explain the UFOs. Why? Because they're counterfeits. They've been lying this whole time, dude. They're not telling you the truth of what God looks like. It's in the Bible. They're not telling you the truth of his name, and they're not telling you the truth of the chariots. They're lying, and it goes into the tongue that spoke great things against the temple, and they blasphemed his name, and they spoke against the inhabitants of those who dwell in heaven. Because the people who are in heaven are angels that are dark-skinned. Yahawashi is dark-skinned. His father is dark-skinned. And they have kinky, nappy hair. And their name's Yahweh Yahawashi. I hope this lesson was edifying. I want to give double honors to the elders and the great millstone. I want to give all glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahawashi. And I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Yahawashi is coming back as a so-called black man in his godlike power on a UFO to destroy Esau Edom, the so-called white man. That is the gospel.
So what happened in Mexico City? Well, you had him.
3 direct hits, a mortal wound. Then your men allowed him to escape. You promised me human intelligence. Or is there such a thing?
You know, you've still never told me. Why do you want him? Who are you working for?
Every galaxy I've traveled, all you species are the same. You all think you're the center of the universe.
Esau thinks he is the center of the universe. On this planet, he thinks he's the center of this planet. In this country, he thinks he's the center of this country. Everywhere the so-called white man goes, he's the center. Everybody else is just a play in his movie, and that's not the truth. I hope this lesson was edifying. Shalom.